Hey, good morning. So I was out here this morning taking some pictures with my EP5 in this new Lumix 14 millimeter f2.5. I say it's new to me, and I bought it used, so it's not that new. And this is not the second version, this is the original. But it's really got me thinking about the popularity of the pen cameras, the whole pen line. If you look at how much they're selling for online, it's a little bit crazy. I was thinking about getting another EPL5, which is a little bit smaller than this. And I had one, I did a video about it a while back. I'll put a link in the description down below, but I gifted that camera to one of my sons, and I kind of miss it. I think with this 14 millimeter lens on it, it'd be a really nice, compact little kit to have. So I may have to go search for another one. But I wanted to talk about the popularity of the pen cameras. These things have become, I don't know, they have kind of almost like a cult following. If you look on eBay or online, I was looking this morning, and these EP5s, you can get them for a little under $500. When I bought this one about 5 or 6 years ago, it was only $250. And usually electronic stuff, as it gets older, goes down in price. These keep going up, and that tells you something. You know what is driving that. So that's kind of what I want to talk about today. I got out of here this morning, got this idea that I wouldn't shoot video in the car, but it's like 26 degrees out here, and fortunately the wind has laid, but at my age, 26 degrees just not fun to be out in anymore. So I'm gonna go get back in the car with the dogs where it's nice and warm. Anyway, we're gonna talk about the Olympus Pen series of cameras and their level of popularity, why they're still popular today. Okay, a little warmer in the car here. When I was younger, this cold didn't bother me. It's 26 or 7 degrees outside, and it's just kind of chilly. When I was younger, the cold didn't really bother me. I used to work out in it a lot. Probably when I turned around 60, that arthritis kind of really kicked in, and I really started feeling the cold. Some joints get cold these days, and oh man, they hurt. And you know, I never was a real big sports player. You know, I played some softball and baseball, and I have an elbow and a shoulder that tell me about that little adventure. But the big thing was lifting things that were too heavy when I was young, rather stupidly. You know, I had to pick up that 7.5 horse Toshiba 3-phase electric motor and put it on a machine. Right then, I couldn't wait for the jib crane to be available. Yeah, I'll always regret that little moment. Anyway, so I'm out at this Woodson community pool. It's a park where, when I was a kid, I used to come here and go swimming in that building you saw in the beginning there. It's a swimming pool in a park that's been here for probably well over 60 years, maybe 70 or more. It's been around here a long time, and fortunately, it's one of the parks that the city has really kept up. So that swimming pool, to this day, when summer rolls rolls around, it'll be full of kids swimming. There's a gymnasium, there's a community center where kids can do arts and crafts and stuff with the Parks and Rec department. So it's and there's a big baseball field behind me here that they do all kinds of sports out there, both baseball and soccer. So it's a neat little park, and I'm really glad they've kind of kept it up. And so it's fun to come out here and take some pictures of it. But I've been kind of thinking about these pen cameras. As I mentioned before, I had an EPL5 at one time. It was actually the first micro four thirds camera that I got, and I was thinking, because of this lens, I was thinking maybe it'd be cool to have another one. The one I had before was white, so maybe find one in black to go with this lens. You know, I don't know. But in looking online, you know, I looked at EP5s and looked at EPL5s and some of the other models, and I was a little bit surprised. The EP5s seem to be between $400 and $500 for this body, just the body. And I paid like $250 for this 5 years ago. And the EPL5s, you know, you can seem to get for maybe a little less than 250, 200 to 250. And there's some cheaper ones you can find, especially if you don't mind ordering them out of Japan. And I was thinking, why are these things still so popular? I mean, normally electronic gear, as it gets older, goes down in price. As new technology comes in, electronic stuff gets cheaper, right? And these did for a while. I mean, I bought this EP1, not with the lens, but just the body. I bought this EP1 for $50, and it was in great shape. Only had like 600 or 700 pictures taken on it. It was, and it's still a great camera. But you look for an EP1 now, and you're going to spend well over 100 for one, and maybe closer to 2. It's crazy. And so, why is it? What's the popularity? And I think there's several things. One is form factor. The Pen cameras are compact. They're really high build quality, metal covers, metal frame. They're just really solidly built. Now, I know there are some later models that they do start using some plastic stuff, covers and stuff, but the frames on them, I think, remain metal until they get to kind of the very end, and the whole thing kind of turns plastic. But, I'm not really that afraid of polymer built cameras. I used to repair cameras for a living, and the polymer frames and stuff, they hold up pretty well. I don't really have any real problem there, but I like the solid feel, the weight. You don't feel like you're playing with just some, cheap camera. These things feel solid. So real high build quality, metal construction, and they're one of the things that really drew me to the Pen size cameras, the EP1, the EP5, this particular line, as opposed to the EPL series, which are a little smaller, was the similarity in size to some of the rangefinder cameras I used to shoot, the screw mount Leicas and even the M Leicas. M Leicas are a little bit bigger, but that feel, that kind of size of camera that's easy to carry around and quick to use, I really like these things. And this EP5, I think, is always going to be one of my favorites. I've done several videos on it. That's another thing I noticed. I went back through some of my videos, and my most popular videos, a lot of them are about the Pen cameras as opposed to the other things or lenses or whatever. So I think that's it. Also, these things are pretty feature rich. There's some later ones, that I think they all kind of top out. All the Pen cameras kind of top out at 16 megapixel. There might be something that's, I don't know, the last EPLs that's maybe 20. I don't remember, but they have, the image stabilization. They've got Olympus's fantastic color science. I just love the color science out of this. 99% of the time when I take pictures, I usually shoot RAW plus JPEG. Most of the time I just use the JPEGs. They just look so good. And I just don't find a need to mess with the RAW files all that much. Some of the later models have a tilt screen where you can tilt the screen up or down, where the earlier ones just have a fixed screen. You can't do anything with it. And just all the features that are in these, and you combine one of these with this 14 millimeter Lumix lens that's so compact, or the 20 millimeter that I normally keep on this, again, a pancake lens, or even something like the little 17 millimeter pancake from Olympus. And there are some pancake zoom lenses by both Olympus and Panasonic. But you combine a compact pancake lens with one of these Pen bodies, you got something that's pocketable, it's easy to carry around, and then you start to really understand why these are so popular. I was shocked the other day when I saw an advertisement for the Ricoh GR IV, and it is an APS-C size sensor. Now it is 25.7 megapixels. Okay. And it's got some, it's got image stabilization. It's got some other features, but it's got a fixed screen. It doesn't even have a tilt screen. It's fixed. And there's no viewfinder, no electronic viewfinder. You're going to use the screen. It's got a fixed lens that's a 28 millimeter equivalent, and it's $1,400 or $14.99. And even if you go back a model to the GR3, they were new for $900 and probably used still close to that. So, wow. I mean, that's just a lot of money to spend for a camera if you're wanting to, say, get into street photography. And I'm not a big street photographer. I've taken my share of people pictures, but it's just not my forte. And so I'm not too big into street photography, but if I wanted to go out and do that, I would not buy a GR4. I would take my, my EP5 or maybe an EPL5, which is a little more compact, and I would use it to do my street photography. So the Lumix 14 millimeter f2.5 lens is basically the same speed as the Ricoh's 2.8 lens, actually a tiny bit faster. Image quality from this lens is outstanding. And unless you're making pictures that are really huge, you're just not going to need, the higher pixel count. And in fact, the more the pixel count goes up, the bigger your files are, the more that takes up space on your hard drive, etc., on your computer. So there's a lot of disadvantages to that. So I think that if I were wanting to get into street photography or wanted a camera for travel or just an everyday carry kind of camera to keep with me every day, if I really wanted to do it kind of on the lowdown, an EPL5, maybe an EPL6, one of the EPL series cameras, a little bit more compact than the EP series. This 14 millimeter lens gives you that 28 millimeter equivalent. Or like I said, you could go with the 17 millimeter Olympus pancake lens, which will give you a 35 millimeter equivalent or 34 millimeter equivalent. Or the 20 millimeter Lumix, Panasonic lens, that would give you then a 40 millimeter equivalent. All those popular equivalent focal lengths. And I think you could make yourself a little street outfit that would just be outstanding. And, with the EPL5, just as an example, it's 16 megapixel. It's got, image stabilization. It's got a tilt screen. Actually, the screen on the EPL5 will actually tilt. I don't remember if it's up or down, but it goes all the way around so you can actually see the screen from the front, so you can use it for vlogging or whatever. So let's say you spend about $250 or maybe a little less for one of those. This 14 millimeter lens, you can get for less than $200. I found this one, a pawn shop was selling it on eBay, and they had it priced at $199. And I kind of, I saved it on my watch list. I was kind of watching it, and all of a sudden they dropped the price by $90, and it was $109. And I'm like, okay, I'm buying that, so, if you watch for it, you can find a good deal on a lens like this. And, so let's say I were to buy it, and I may buy an EPL5, and let's see if I can find one for $200, which I think I can. And if you combine that with this lens, which I've got basically $110 in or $109, for less than $300, I've got a really solid little street camera outfit or travel camera outfit. And I didn't spend the $1,500 for a GR4. So anyway, I think that's really has a lot to do with the Pen cameras. People realize that they have great value. They take great pictures. They're pocketable. And compared to some of the other options, they're very affordable. But anyway, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about this morning. I hope that was maybe interesting. I'm going to try to get out here and maybe brave the weather just a little bit more and see if I can take a few more pictures. Appreciate you joining me. If you have any thoughts or comments, please don't hesitate to leave me a comment. I always love hearing from you. And as always, thanks for watching.